my gosh, that's dangerous.
That is dangerous. What's that glass thing?
Where?
You
Just
can't
by?
see it anymore.
Hi, how you doing? Here's part 2 of this part 1 thingy, and that's pretty gross over here. I don't even know what the heck that is, but we're gonna pick it up anyway. Throw it in there, just because it's on the road. And we're not actually looking for that piece though. What we're looking at right now is this large ditch. It's just been cleaned out. It's got brand new, all sorts of grass along the side. Go down in there because it's got to settle down. And you'll see there's algae growing in there, and it'll all come back. This water is coming out of the ground, out of groundwater that's behind us here, and it flows down this way into a drain that goes into a local creek. The same local creek that the water goes into that we were looking at on the other street. Now down here, strangely enough, we have a situation where another company came by and did all this work, and a little dirty today, but I was here yesterday. And here is an empty bucket of super universal trans hydraulic fluid by Kubota. And I think that's completely amazing. There we go. Kubota Tractor Corporation, Grapevine, Texas, right here in Michigan, in the ditch in Michigan. So what I'm going to do with this container is we're going to get it out of here, because even though there's not much left in it, the residue can get down in there, and a small amount of these chemicals can pollute a large amount of water. I'm looking down in here, and I'm looking at all the same chopped up stuff. I don't know. Before we were outside a corporation that's worth billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're outside of one that's worth tens of billions that provide services. And then we're looking at the result of some road work here in one of the wealthiest counties in the United States of America. So we've got a lot of work to do. Thank you. Here is a vernal pond in Michigan. Even though it looks like a permanent pond, this pond comes up in the spring and then it'll go down later in the summertime. There may be some wetness here again in autumn, and then of course it'll freeze over during the winter and return again next spring. They have varying depths, but what is common about them is that they occur in the spring. Lots of creatures depend on these vernal ponds, and what we're looking at right now is a group of oak trees that are growing within this particular pond, and a lot of other different plants. We have chokecherry trees and a variety of other understory bushes, understory trees, and wetland plants. A lot of times people may deride wetlands, but they're actually very useful and performing a function. Because this is a vernal pond, it means there's water underground all the time around here, and there's just so much of it down there right now that it comes up to the surface. If we were to cover this over, that activity would still take place, and there would be subsidence and eventual harm to any property that might be built upon this. Building around these things is, if necessary, much better than building on top of them. They are also one of the more productive biomes in Michigan and in the world. This particular one supports all types of insect life and allows the local amphibians to reproduce and carry out a large part of their life functions. There are also some mysterious and odd creatures that live here, including something called fairy shrimp, and they are still being investigated and learned more about, but they do occur in these vernal ponds in Michigan. Another thing that happens in vernal ponds in Michigan, and that this allows the translocation of certain types of mollusks. In fact, in some locations here, even when it dries out, if you dug down into the ground, you could actually find clams, oysters, and other mollusks living underground. It's really quite amazing. Michigan is an amazing place to live, and wetlands are an amazing place to learn about. They're also a wonderful resource for us all that have not currently been completely studied or understood.